Part 1 of 5. Muscles is the crucial factor of your longevity. If you want to guess how long someone will live, don't just look at things like their cholesterol, weight, or blood pressure. Instead, focus on their muscles, because muscle strength and mass are some of the best clues we have about longevity. And here's something most people don't realize. After age 35, most of us start losing about 3% of our muscle every year. By the time you hit 70, you could have lost half of your muscles. And that's not just about aging, it's usually because of neglect. Low muscle mass makes you 5 times more likely to die early. Not because muscle loss causes one specific disease, but because it leaves you vulnerable to everything: infections, falls, diabetes, heart problems. Basically, your body becomes more fragile. The good news is muscle loss isn't inevitable or permanent. No matter your age, you can rebuild it. I explain why muscles are like your body's longevity secret weapon, how they protect your entire system, and what you can do, even if you've never worked out before, to get stronger. Most people don't really think about muscles until it's too late, until they can't get out off the floor easily, trip and fall, or end up in the hospital wondering how they got there. But muscle loss actually starts way earlier, after your mid-30s. If you do nothing, you lose about 1 to 3% of muscle each year. That might not seem like much, but over decades, it adds up. By age 70, you could have lost 40 to 50% of your muscle. That's half gone. And it's not just about feeling weaker or struggling with everyday tasks. It's called sarcopenia, and it's a serious risk factor for early death. The less muscle you have, the higher your risk of dying early. Up to 5 times higher, depending on the study. The reason is that low muscle mass weakens your body's defenses. It makes you more prone to infections, more likely to fall because you can't catch yourself, and more vulnerable to blood sugar issues and heart problems. Basically, your body becomes less resilient and less capable of handling stress or bouncing back from setbacks. Think of muscle like your savings account for health. The earlier and more consistently you invest in building it, the more you can withdraw later in the form of strength, independence, and health. Most people think they're fine in their 30s and 40s because they feel good, but the choices they make then, whether to build muscle or let it fade, determine how active and independent they'll be in their 70s and 80s. And here's the best part. Muscle loss is reversible at any age. You can rebuild your strength no matter how old you are. I've seen 70-year-olds doing handstands, 80-year-olds squatting deep, people who thought they were too old or too broken. Your muscles are waiting to respond. They don't care about your age. They only respond to the effort you give them. Before we get into how to build muscle, here's something fascinating. 70-80% of the sugar in your blood is actually taken up by your muscles, not your liver or fat cells. Your muscles are like a giant warehouse for blood sugar. When you eat carbs, they turn into sugar, which then enters your bloodstream. Most of that sugar gets stored in your muscles as fuel. That's why having enough muscles is so important. It helps keeps your blood sugar levels healthy. When you don't have enough muscle, your body can't store sugar properly. The sugar builds up in your blood, leading to insulin resistance and eventually type 2 diabetes. So building muscle isn't just about strength. It's about keeping your blood sugar in check and staying healthy as you age. Make sure to watch part 2 of part 5. Thank you. My name is Magda. Bye-bye.